right, here we go. Welcome to the Brookhill Podcast, where we talk about life, legacy, and leadership. Today's guest is a friend of mine from 30 years ago, Matt Perry.
That's right.
The Matt Perry right here. And so Matt is from Little Rock. And so, Matt, I'd like maybe tell us a little bit about who you are and your experience at Brookhill, and then we'll kind of get into this thing a little bit here. So
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. This is exciting. My first podcast ever, so there's no lost footage of me ever. You ain't got to worry about that. But yeah, I can't believe that I'm sitting with the David Pate from the Woodlands, Texas, that I used to write handwritten letters to between camping sessions just to check on you and, back and forth. So little known fact, David and I were bunkmates for 2 or 3 years.
We were.
Yeah. And by bunkmates, I mean actual top bunk, bottom bunk. Oh my goodness. Look at this guy.
We got a picture right here from the archives. That is Matt on the bottom left.
Look at that.
That is you. Matt was always too cool for school.
Oh, come on.
And that is me with the hair slicked back, shaved. So yeah. It's of course Simon Knighton, the legend.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Do you remember Robert Howard, the
Yeah.
JC? So, Robert, he's a doctor in Kentucky and sends his kids to camp. So
that's awesome.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, everyone's in shorts, and for some reason, I'm in jeans. And a long sleeve.
Yeah.
In the middle of summer in Arkansas. Why?
That was you.
Why?
Well, we actually have a couple more pictures, and I think the other pictures we have tell the reason why. This is why. This is Matt Perry right here, right?
I always said
these girls were probably 20. Matt was probably 12. But Matt, he wore the jeans and look at his Garth Brooks shirt on. And that's just who Matt was right there. That defined. Wait, one more. One more I got here. Look at this right here. This girl's 20.
I'm in pants again. Did I own shorts?
I don't know.
Or were they strictly for soccer, probably?
Yeah.
I only broke them out for soccer.
But you were cool. I mean, look, you were just vibing.
With my Yukon hat.
Yep. Your head was shaved, by the way. I have another picture. I didn't put it on here, but.
That's Angie Page.
Okay.
On the far right.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I grew up
Angie.
with their family. And
no way.
Yeah, still see them. And actually, when I became a JCT,
okay,
her youngest brother was in my cabin.
Too cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, you'll have to tell Angie that she was on the podcast.
I will. Had a huge crush on her back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
my wife knows that.
She was wearing jeans, so maybe that's why you were wearing pants.
I might have been, following her lead.
So, yeah, but it's kind of cool in the background. You can see the old Crafts Hut. See the old lemonade shake-up stand.
Man, I miss the jerky and the cherry limeades.
Yep. That was
Sonic has nothing on the cherry limeades of circa 90s Brookhill.
Right. Well, it was deer jerky.
You told me that 2 years ago and blew my mind.
Yep.
It was amazing.
That's because
I saved all my money.
Yep. Roland's Barbecue. He was the genius, man. He was good at it.
That's awesome.
We all loved it. So... yeah, so this is Matt Perry. He and I were campers together, kids together, and now your kids go to camp.
Yep.
And so they've loved it. Was this the third summer or second summer?
This will be summer 3.
This will be summer 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's in 5th grade. I didn't realize that you could go that year before and found out from you that summer and was like, no. But he said that he would take this over anything. Like recently we talked about kind of as we were finishing up the year, it was like, what was your favorite moments of 2025? Like what sticks out? What means something to you? What would you want to do again, either individually or as a family? And my son was like, oh, Brookhill. I'm like, yes, he's got it. He knows what's up.
At his age, can he communicate why? Can he articulate why? Like, what's he love about it?
I mean, yeah, he can communicate it. Can I remember it? That's a different thing. Let me try to dig out what he would have said. I know he really, really loves like being with the guys in the cabin, like feeling that community, being poured into by older dudes that are cool and, like who did not love their counselors when they were kids. Just like these were, I want to be that. And so, he loves to compete. He loves to play games. He loves to be outside. I'm very glad he's not like, super into video games yet. I mean, a little bit, but like if he could do this year round, this is what he would do. It's built for him. He loves it. And I love that he loves it because I know he's getting fed here, right? Like it's not a meaningless week of fun for no reason. There's reason, knit into everything that happens here. So yeah, when he said he would rather do that over any of the trips we've done, I'm like, come on, let's go.
I love it.
Yeah.
And that's our goal. Development is one of our values, that we want to see from that second grade, which I don't know if you know this. This is okay. There was an email that went out just a little bit ago that says we're about to announce something new, and I haven't told you this.
Is it day camp?
It is day camp. No, I think I got to tell you that on the phone.
You told me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ruin your surprise.
You're good.
There,
you're good.
I've already been talking to my middle child about, hey, well, what did you think about day camp? And she's like, I don't know. I'd be a little scared. I'm like, no, you'd have a great time. You just need to do it.
But mom and dad drop off beginning of the day and pick up at the end of the day. It's a great kind of dip your toe in the water and allow a first, a second, or a third grader, even though we do allow second and third graders, if the, parents are like, I don't know if they're ready yet, and I want to make sure they're comfortable. Cool thing is, our thought was maybe somebody would like to go early in the summer, have such a good time.
And then come back.
Yeah, and then come back. So
that'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. Yep. Yeah. So how'd you get to camp? What is your story? Obviously, I knew you once you were at camp, but... and you were a local guy, traveled all the way from Houston. You were from here, right?
Yeah,
Dalton Smith, our buddy, was from Magnolia.
Yeah.
And you were a Little Rock guy.
I was a Little Rock kid.
So how did you get here?
Do you remember Jacob Slayton?
Name sounds familiar.
Okay. Jacob was one of my best friends, if not my best friend at that stage of life. And, we still are really close. He showed up at Pulaski Academy where I was going to school, and we hit it off. And he came to school one day, and I remember him going, hey, would you want to go to Brookhill Ranch Camp with me this summer? And I was like, what's that? I had no idea. Like, my entire childhood was playing sports and doing sports camps and church camp, like at the church, like, vacation Bible school, not overnight camp. So I hadn't done any of that. And he told me about it. I was so excited. I went home and I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. And my parents were like, I don't know, kind of back and forth. Had some conversations with his parents, and all of a sudden I'm showing up at camp. And that first year was amazing. Went back the next year, second year hanging out with you. This was awesome. And then by year 3, it meant enough to me that I was raising my own money to be able to go to multiple sessions. My parents were like, okay, you can we'll pay for the week of camp. If you want to do the 2-week, you got to pay half. And I was like, what do I do to make money? Like, come on, let's go.
Wow.
We're going to do this. So got to do that one time earlier, talking through all the different people and old counselors. And
you were in Crowder's bunkhouse. You said the Appaloosas for the 2-week.
I was in Crowder's, old growly voice Crowder.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Steve. Yeah. I miss that guy.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him since camp.
Yeah, he's a pastor in Colorado now.
Really?
Yeah, great guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So that is how I got here.
And you never were a counselor or anything.
JCT.
You just did your graduate camper. You were a JC? Did you ever wear a T-shirt?
I thought I did 1 year.
1 year. Okay.
I thought I did.
Okay.
That was a while ago.
But you had sports.
I was playing sports year round.
Okay.
Soccer mostly. Later in life, that's how the whole kicker thing. But
gotcha.
I was playing soccer year round, and then my senior year of high school, I actually took a year off and lived in South America and came back, and that kind of messed up summers for camps and everything. But yeah, so ended up graduating a year later than I should have. But hey, here we are.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love it. What'd you love about camp? What stood out to you? What made it special to you? You know, because that's what we all say. We loved it. You know, can you define what that is that you loved about it for anybody that might be listening?
Yeah, so it's a great question. I'm just going to start answering.
Yeah.
We're going to see what we say.
Yeah.
I know that the first thing I would say is the relationships. And we touched on this briefly in the conversation earlier about how the counselors don't turn over as fast as a lot of the other camps, right? So when you go back, Steve's there, Simon's there, you know, all these guys, Sexton, all these guys are there. And it's like not just seeing your buddies that hopefully came back for the same session, all the people that used to come up from Louisiana.
Yep.
You remember
Lake
that?
Charles group.
Lake
Yep.
Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was fun to see all them, but like the counselors, when they remembered you and you're a kid and you were admiring them, and you know, it was just, there was something about seeing them serve and love others that was so attractive to me. And just, you know, that like the counselors made camp for me. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter what we did, right?
Right.
I didn't care if it was we were fishing derby, or, you know, if it was doing Sadie Hawkins, or we were going to, you know, during the day, whether I was riding a horse, playing field sports, finally making it to where I could go to Big Lake after years of wanting to be at Big Lake.
Right.
You know, it didn't matter. Doesn't, like, I don't have a set memory of like a moment in camp that meant more than the other. What I have is remembering the people. And that was what was so special and so amazing. Because, like, you dropped into this place, and it was like being with your family for a week. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, you know, it's all tears, and we're, you know, hands over your shoulders. This little out of mine, like, you know, we're saying bye, but we're going to see each other again, which is amazing. And that was always really special.
And I think my favorite thing is seeing you guys as parents come back, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we're still singing This Little Light of Mine, or Father, I Adore You at closing ceremonies. That's my favorite, to see an alumni, right, a friend come back, and their kids are singing the same songs.
In rounds.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
You're going to give me goosebumps, bro.
That's right. That's right.
It does every time.
Yeah. It's
beautiful.
Powerful.
It is.
You know, I think what made camp so special for me is I think it's in all of us. Obviously, God created us in a certain way, but I think we all want to matter, you know, and we all want someone to notice us and to say you matter, and even to call out that greatness in us, like Simon Knighton in the Broncos.
Yeah.
You know, looking at me and saying, man, there's something special in you, Dave. And I know that's what he did for everybody.
No, he never did that with me.
Oh, you never. Sorry, Matt.
That's okay.
Simon, I'll give you his number. But you know, I think for me, probably the most special moment. You remember Brian Cato? He was the camp director, right?
Yeah.
So Cato and
Small
I played.
glasses?
Yeah. And we played tennis together still to this day. So
No way.
That's why you got to get. We're going to tell your story here in a little bit, but we got to get you back going in tennis here.
Okay.
Just because tennis is the greatest. So Tyler, everything leads back to tennis. That's right. But Brian was up on stage, and it was that year with Simon and the Broncos. You were there, and I'll never forget, I wasn't wearing my name tag. And Brian, from the stage, said something, and he said, David, like David. And he pointed to me. And when the camp director knew my name, after all those years without me wearing a name tag, that was everything for me.
That's awesome.
You know, we want to matter. You know, and obviously the Lord tells us we matter, right? And it's that relationship with Him. But it's still in us to care about that.
Yeah,
right?
and you know, when people are reinforcing the word of God over you about you matter, you count, you know, you're fearfully and wonderfully made, doesn't matter how different you are, like you got a purpose, and we want to see you, serve others and love God and be that extension from him out to the world. Like that matters and that counts and that's cool.
At 15 years old, it was everything for another man, right?
One you really respected too. It's not like this is just some,
right?
Like that's the guy.
Yeah. So that's what camp, that's why we all love camp. That's why you're sitting here today. It's the relationships, right? It's the friendship. 30 years later, it was an even crazy story how we even ran into each other again. And you've been sitting in Little Rock, and I've been here all these years, and then finally to reconnect. Yeah.
I was waiting for kids to get old enough to send them to camp, not knowing that, like, my guy was running it. So that's awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you were into soccer. What got you to football? You do hear that. That happens where guys transfer from soccer to football.
I played football on and off. Like, I think I played 7th grade, didn't play 8th, played 9th grade, didn't play 10th or 11th, and then ended up playing 12th grade. And that looked like being up on the practice field playing soccer and the head coach of the football team coming up to the head coach of the soccer team and saying, "Who's got strongest leg?" And it was the big goofy guy in pants playing soccer.
Yeah, wearing the jeans.
Wearing his jeans, running around. No, I was bigger. I still am bigger, I guess.
Yeah.
Was and am. But the coach came over and said, "We want you to cook for the football team." And I said, "No." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I don't want to practice past 3:00 in the afternoon when school's over. I want to go home. And I don't lift weights, and I don't want to do extra running. I run enough." And he was like, "Okay, well, what if we run kicking drills first? You stay at practice until the bell rings. When the bell rings, everyone else on the team is going to stay out here and practice till 5. You're welcome to take your helmet off, wave, and walk off." And I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll do that." So I negotiated my duties.
That's incredible.
In hindsight, I kind of wish I would have taken it serious and like stretched and lifted weights and ran and tried and done everything, considering I was able to make it to college
right
off of 1 year of kicking. Might be the only D1 kicker who's never even kicked a single extra point or field goal in a competitive game ever, because I was at Pulaski Academy.
Even then.
And that year was the year they we had another kicker that was already on the team that did extra points. About 2/3 through the season, they stopped and started 2-point conversions. And we stopped field goals after the first field goal of the year that was missed. They stopped doing field goals, and I was kickoff only. I've only ever done kickoff.
And then how do you get to U of A on the football team?
I will point to, we had one televised game against Oak Grove, and I kicked my kickoff through the uprights on TV, and then the chatter started, and then I got a call from Danny Nutt, and I had to go up to PA on a Saturday in November, and he's like, "I want to see you kick in person." Okay, what do you want me to do? Like, I don't know how I played for the Hogs. Like, if we're going to be honest, I don't know how it happened. But he said, "Well, okay, kick, move back. And I had a decent leg and soccer style kicker. I just kicked the ball, and ended up getting a few scholarship offers to a few schools, and did not get a scholarship offer to Arkansas. I got invited walk on with the opportunity to get a scholarship. And growing up, I'm going to play for the Razorbacks with my buddy Garrett Lewis, whose his dad played, and we made a pact when we were kids we were going to play for the Hogs. I obviously wasn't taking it serious because I wasn't even playing football. But he actually made it as a deep snapper.
Okay.
But he played. Like he played. Snapped the winning kick when we beat Texas down in Austin in 2003 and all that. But he was deep snapper. I was backup kicker.
Okay.
So we made it.
Now, was that the McFadden years and the
No,
Felix Jones? That was before that.
No, I was a freshman with Matt Jones.
Okay. Which he's from Mount Pine here. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't.
Yeah, just around the corner.
Really? Okay.
So,
I miss Matt.
yeah.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
Yeah.
We were in freshman Bible study together, and man, he was sneaky quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sean Andrews, that was that whole group, and I still see Sean because his son is, both of his sons are at Little Rock Christian with my kids.
Okay.
And his younger boy and my son played flag football together, so it was good to reconnect with him. He's just he is a gentle giant, awesome guy.
Okay.
So,
well, Tyler, we were talking about Matt missed Grant Garrett, my buddy Grant, by just a year or two. And, that was the Brandon Burlsworth era. And Tyler played in Jonesboro, and his buddy Grant Cook, played Grant Garrett, my buddy, in the movie Greater. He played his character. It's just a small world.
I know. Yeah. Okay.
So I guess they just used the whole line to film the movie or something.
That's awesome.
You don't think that would have? No, you were later. Yeah, you're younger.
I
Yeah.
remember going to a game and watching Matt Jones play. So
Okay. Yeah, that's a small world.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my only contribution to Razorback
Share
football.
it now.
Okay. So freshman year, homecoming game, dressed out on the sidelines. Start of the second half, we were playing Weber State, and we were beating up on them. And Matt Jones had not played up to that point that I remember. Maybe he had been in. I don't remember it. And they call Matt to go in, and we're on the sidelines hanging out in a group. He's like, where's my helmet? I can't find my helmet. So I take my helmet off, and I'm like, here, man. And he puts it on and runs in, and very first snap, gets it. And, I mean, obviously I've remembered some things incorrectly earlier, but this is what my mind remembers, right? Broken pat, like he checks down, nothing's there, takes off running. It's like a 65-yard touchdown scamper. He comes back off. I'm like, here's your helmet. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Did you keep the ball? He goes, no, man, I plan on doing that a lot. It's like, awesome. Well, my helmet contributed. It allowed him to go on the field to have his first touchdown.
I plan on doing that a lot.
No, man. I plan on doing that a lot. I was like, that's confidence.
Yeah, he's different.
Yeah. Thanks for wearing my helmet, Matt.
That's awesome.
He was the freshman Matt that mattered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the one that, was over on the corner being like, oh, backup kicker.
Yeah.
When do I get to go home?
Yeah.
I miss leaving at 3.
Did you negotiate with U of A of leaving at 3, or did you stay the whole time?
No, I had to stay the whole time.
Okay.
I had to stay the whole time.
That's awesome.
We invented some pretty fun games because you can only kick so long before you just wear out.
Yeah.
So we had like basically it was like our little version of Frisbee golf.
Okay. But
kicking footballs. And like you'd plan them around, and you have to start here, and how many kicks to get into that, 50-gallon drum over there.
Right.
And then, move it over, and that's why we missed a lot of field goals. If you want to look back, 2001 on, like,
we're
that
training.
was, and I, not to share all the dirt, but Brendan O'Donohoe was an excellent pool player. Like, he could shoot some pool because he did that more than he practiced. So, yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Just give it to Matt Jones.
Yeah. So. If you don't have to kick field goals because you're scoring touchdowns, it's a good thing.
That's right. That's right. So, we had to get this podcast in because here very soon you're going to be having hip replacement surgery.
I am.
And you're not going to do that once.
I got to do that twice.
You got to do that twice.
Yeah.
Some of the things you were sharing with me, if you don't mind, I'd love, to hear some of the stories you've talked about. Just kind of the frustrations that you've had a little bit. If you don't mind sharing it, and we can edit some of it out if you need to. But just for those who are listening, going through maybe some difficult stuff.
Yeah.
For you to encourage. Because I like to think that there are men that listen to this that are young men or men who have gone through a difficult time. And one of the things that I like to tell people, Matt, is there is another side.
Yeah.
Is that this is just a season.
Right.
And you're on the other side, but we do go through those difficult, dark seasons, right?
Man.
But Matt, there is a pretty big epidemic of men and young women who they get in that dark season and they quit, where, sometimes even taking their own lives, which is, and I want to always be an encouragement to those, right?
Right. If
our stories can help that. And so, thank God that we're about to be through this hip surgery here.
Yeah. Friday morning.
Okay.
Friday.
We'll be praying for you.
The 9th.
Yeah.
I'm not ready, but I'm ready.
Right. Right.
I don't think you can ever really be ready for that.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go let them,
right.
cut your leg open, pop it out of joint, saw off the bone. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But all I've heard from others is you're going to love it. It's going to be great, And I'm not doing it just for me. The thing that made me finally go this is it, this is time, is when I realized that I was holding off for a future that I may or may not be guaranteed. But I was missing some of the best moments with my children because Daddy come play on the floor. Daddy doesn't get on the floor really well right now with 2 bad hips that need replacement. Sorry, Dad, are you going to coach my team? Man, how about I'm the assistant coach, in case I can't be there or, something's going on. I can't run. I can't, do all that. And we're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're just not.
Right.
God willing, we have it. Mm-hmm. But we've been given today. You're here, I'm here, you're here.
Yeah.
We've been given today. And today, what am I called to be? A father to my children, a son to my father, son to my heavenly father, husband to my wife, a worker, a friend. I'm called to do all these things, and I'm not giving my best. I realized I'm not able to do things. I see a lot of my friends hiking and doing all these things. I'm like, hey, y'all have fun. I'd love to be there. And I was scared that down the road, what if I have to have another hip replacement when I'm older? And what if I have to have another after that? And then what if I can't walk when I'm in my 70s or 80s? What if I don't make it to my 70s or 80s and I trade the moments that God has given me? And so kind of breaking through some of that fear of what it is, of he's a provider and he loves us and he wants the best for us. Doesn't mean we're always going to get it because he's going to allow things. We live in a sinful world. He's going to allow sin to happen. Been reading Job recently and that's ooh.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't read that one a lot.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
But he's going to allow things to happen. Okay. But is he sufficient even when it happens? That's a great question.
Right.
Is he sufficient? Well, yes, he's sufficient. He's met every need. If I look back, there's no way that goofy, bald-headed kid in jeans should have a job, a beautiful, loving wife that loves the Lord, 3 amazing kids. He has continually provided above and beyond anything I could have asked or imagined. Okay. why would I choose to not believe he'll continue to provide and be sufficient for me in 20 years? Right?
Mm-hmm. It's powerful.
So I'm just like, okay, Lord, I'm trusting you.
Right.
Like, you're a good God. I know that. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. You're a good God.
Yep.
I'm choosing to believe that when I ask you this and I feel your peace, that's your yes, right? I have peace over that procedure. Doesn't mean it's going to go well.
Right.
Don't know. God willing, it does.
Yep.
But I have peace that I'm following his will for my life. And that's something I don't know. You know, I've had different people that mentored me in life. And I think that's a really important thing for men, is to have other men that they can go be real with.
For sure.
But I actually think this may have come from Ron Carter, that where God's peace is, that's where he's at. And so, like, whenever you're praying over stuff, whether it's a change or, you know, y'all are wanting to do this with camp, whatever it's at, like, Lord, give me your peace if this is where you want me to be. Because peace cannot be manufactured by the enemy.
That's right.
It can't.
It's
And
powerful.
where the Lord is, there's peace. So it's like just this beautiful, evident marker that I am in God's will in this moment. Whatever the circumstance, if I'm if I'm able to find his peace, and when you feel God's peace, you know it's God's peace, right?
Absolutely.
You can be against the wall, but if you feel the peace, it's like, okay,
I can make it through this.
I can get through this because I'm not operating on my power alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is going to sustain me. He is going to clear the way. So that's just been a huge part of my decision making.
Yep.
In whether it's been, you know, past job move or moving kids from one school to another, you know, having hip surgery,
Right.
whatever it is. I don't do it perfectly, obviously. Sometimes I ignore.
Sure.
Sometimes I make bad choices because I'm selfish. But, you know, at the end of the day, if you can identify that, you can know, okay, I'm abiding in him and he's in me, right?
Yep.
And if I'm not abiding, I'm not going to feel his peace. And I'm not going to be producing fruit, right? So, yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
I don't think I really answered the question about all the old struggles and everything, but, you know.
No. I think you did. I think you did. And, I think that's really good. You and I were talking on the phone when you said it kind of came out of nowhere. You were a runner or biked. What did you?
Yeah, I mean, after college, after football, I was running. I ran a marathon once and, swore I'd never do it again, but much rather hike or, do that kind of stuff.
Right.
But anything I could do to be active. I was still playing men's league soccer, on and on and on. But is it you want to know about the hips or?
Yeah, and it just kind of hit you. I just remember we were talking on the phone, and because I was like, "Why are you getting surgery?" And you were like, "Man, it just hit me out of nowhere." And it just kind of dominoed. You were just talking about how things just kind of dominoed for you.
Yeah.
And you were like, what in the world? I'm this young guy, and what is happening?
Yeah. So I joke that I got that was my 40th birthday present, was being told I need 2 hip replacements. Because right after I turned 40, I went and had an annual physical, and everything's fine. at the time I was running probably 3 or 4 times a week and, staying active, healthy, doing everything I could. And in a good spot. And all of a sudden I got this tightness and I was like, oh, I think it's, my IT band or whatever. And I'm like rolling it out and stretching like crazy every day. And the pain's just not going away.
Right.
It will not loosen up. That's weird. So end of the doctor's appointment, and he's like, is there anything else? I'm like, yeah, I've got like this tightness in my hip, and I don't know. I've been doing this and this, and I can't get it. Oh, where do you feel it? Well, I feel it here. And then, I feel it sometimes down here in my groin. He goes, oh, you said your groin. You get to get an x-ray. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, he sends me that day, other room, go get an x-ray. Come back. He comes back in and he's like, okay, well, the x-ray's interesting. I'm like, oh, that's not a good description.
No.
It's not what I wanted to hear. And he says, I see this, this, and this. I'm not a hip specialist, but you get to go to see one now. And this is Dr. Pittman. I miss him. He was a great doctor, moved up to Northwest Arkansas to be closer to family, but he was a great doctor, and he's never going to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyways. And he's like, my wife had this, and this is what I think it may be, and you're probably going to have like an outpatient little hip revision where they're going to do a little repair. Okay, I can handle that. That's fine. I go to the hip repair guy, and before he walks out, the physician assistant walks in, and I'm sitting in the room, and young girl, and she's like, Mr. Perry? I'm like, yeah. She goes, your hip is too far gone. You need a replacement. Dr. Tucker doesn't do replacements, so you're going to have to go to another doctor. And I was like, what? I literally had to ask for water because I was about to pass out, because I was just there like, okay, a little, and it was like, no, you need, and then she drops the bomb of, and your right hip is not far behind. You're going to have them both replaced. And I'm like, I just turned 40. We just had our 3rd child. Like, at this point, that baby is maybe 3 months old. I just switched careers a month ago. There was a lot. This is COVID. COVID's just happened. My son's just entered school. Just a lot of life change going on, and it was overwhelming. That coupled with my mom being in the later stages of, she had early onset dementia, and my dad retired early, and he basically said, your mom took care of me for 40 something years. I want to take care of her. And he called it packing in life. And so he retired, and he's told me, he's like, I shouldn't, but I've crunched the numbers on what this has meant, and I shouldn't have. But he missed the biggest earning season of his life right then at the end. But I don't think he regrets it.
No.
And I know I don't regret it, because he dropped everything and he took care of my mom. Oh yeah, God, yeah, it's gonna make me cry.
Yeah.
He took care of my mom so well for 8-9 years, and then finally, my brother and I had to sit him down and say, Dad, you have run that race. It's now killing you. You've got to put her in a home that can be there 24/7 and take care of her. So this is her getting put into the group home right as COVID's starting, and it's like I can remember those moments of driving home from work, and it's like I would pass where she was staying, and I'd be like, okay, do I go see her today? Man, I don't know if I have the strength to go see her. And I miss, I regret not seeing her more, but it was just so hard to see someone you love that much in that place. Because I'd go in there, and she'd always have this like glimmer when she first saw me of like, I remember you. Mm-hmm. But she was nonverbal. Mm-hmm. And you would just like, I would sit with her, and you would just see her just kind of float off. And then she might have a moment where she comes back. I don't know how hard that was for me. I cannot imagine what that was like for my father. Mm. You know, they were married. She passed away December 27th, 3 years ago. So we just hit 3 years. I want to say they were married 48 or 49 years. Wow. when she passed.
Wow.
So they had a good long...
What an example.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, man,
that's the legacy.
It is.
We need more marriages like that.
Yeah. Oh. Humans, sinners, but they loved each other and they loved God and they worked through a lot of stuff.
Right. Right.
And my mom, first generation believer, she was the oldest 5 kids and they were not Christians. And she had a friend in junior high invite her to youth group at church.
Wow.
She became a Christian. Her sister became a Christian. Her parents became Christians. I think 2 out of the 3 of her brothers did.
Wow.
Pretty sure.
In your life?
Well, my dad wasn't a believer and was pursuing my mom. And she kept saying no. And then he finally got her to go out on a date. She really liked him. But she cut it off and was like, I can't get in a serious relationship with you because you're not a follower of Christ and I cannot be unequally yoked. My dad went and found Jesus and came back and married my mom.
She must have been amazing.
Yeah. And then my dad's family became Christians. Wow. And then I was raised in a Christian home.
Wow.
That was literally years removed from not being.
Because one person asked her to church in junior high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cared enough to just say, hey, would you like to come to church with me?
Yeah. If that's not be a light, if that's, you know what I'm saying? That's incredible.
Be a light where you're planted.
That's right.
You ain't got to go somewhere else. It's sometimes harder at home.
Right.
But
it's powerful.
Yeah. Be a light. I like that.
You know, one of the stories that you shared with me was a mission trip that you went on, you know, that you talked about was kind of a moment that really helped pull you out of some of this, you know, that really, I mean, you were in a foreign country and had a moment. Tell me a little bit about that, how you got there, and, you know, just tell me a little bit about that mission trip.
So that's somewhat true. So for a long time, my wife and I didn't have kids until we were later in our marriage. And so for years I was blessed enough to get to lead mission trips to multiple countries for my church. And at one point actually wanted to go on staff as a missions pastor.
Wow.
And, my wife didn't have peace over the decision, and I had to give up my dream. Only now to look back, we've looked back at it, and now we're like, oh, that had God's fingers all over. Like, we couldn't have done so many things that we were able to do, like when we had kids, you know, her be able to see her dream of being a mother come true. Like, had I been the missions pastor, she'd have been at work.
Right.
Because we would have been able to live. Like,
right.
And, you know, so was down in Argentina co-leading a exploratory mission trip with a new missions partner to see if this was something that we were going to do regularly. And I mentioned Ron Carter earlier. Mm-hmm. Ron was on that trip. He was an older gentleman. And, you know, I got to know him there. Great guy. So fast forward, and I've hit rock bottom, like depression. I was at home, pretty much all the time with COVID, living in fear. I mentioned earlier that, Kinsey and I had kids later in our marriage. That was not by our personal design.
Sure.
Like we struggled with fertility for years, right? And did all the stuff except for IVF. That wasn't I'm not going to take a stance on whether IVF. I couldn't afford it. I was like, with that kind of money, we'll adopt, and have a guaranteed child. But we've gone through all that. She finally gets pregnant. We lose the pregnancy. Tough. She had to have a procedure and everything, and it was heartbreaking. It was hard. And yeah. So I've completely lost track of where I was. What were we talking about?
You lost the baby. You were talking about kind of going through that.
Yeah. So
going through a depression.
Yes. Thank you. So, she's lost the baby, procedure. It was hard. Like I'm seeing her in more emotional pain than I've probably ever seen her in at that point. And we find out we're pregnant. This is actually our third kid now, but literally the first case of COVID was on like a Wednesday or Thursday. I remember it was a guy down in Pine Bluff. And on Saturday, my wife's like, hey, come here. I'm going to show you something. And she's pregnant, right? And we were like, well, this, that's awesome. I go to the doctor the next week, like Tuesday. They won't let me in. We this is first week. No one knows what's going on. And we basically bunkered in out of fear, really, more than anything.
Sure.
Of like, we've got to protect this child, which was sinfully our way of saying, God, we don't trust you to protect us. Mm-hmm. And I can look back and see that now. Mm. But at the time, man, I was operating out of fear, not out of faith. And so we're like bunkered in. I've just switched jobs, like all these things going on, and everything going on with my mom. I sound like I'm making excuses. I started drinking pretty heavy. At the house by myself.
Sure.
Just like get the kids to bed. And my wife, she knew I was like in a bad spot, and she let me kind of go through it for a while.
Sure.
And then she was like, I love you, and I know you're hurting, and I know you're trying to cope, but you're not doing it correctly. And I don't like who you're becoming, and I don't like the anger that keeps pouring out of you, and it's time for you to do something different. And I was like, okay. Like, at this point, we've been married 14, 15 years.
Right.
Love her to death. Very much respect her input into my life, because anyone that knows my wife knows she's not the most vocal person. But if she's going to speak up, it means something.
Okay.
I'm the guy that talks a lot, and it means nothing. She's the person that talks a little bit, and it means a lot.
Come on.
And it just so happened that another one of my friends was like, hey, we're having a men's worship night up at church. We're gonna read Psalms. We're going to pray together, and we're going to sing worship songs. I was like, that sounds like something I should be at. I don't really want to go.
Right.
Because I've got this thing in me that thinks I need to work my way back to forgiveness. Because this liar keeps telling me that I'm too dirty to go before the king.
Right.
But yeah, I'm coming. And while we're there, I end up sitting right behind Ron Carter. And I can remember, him turning around, we catch up, and I said, Ron, I'd really like to get coffee with you. He's like, I'd love that. And we put it on the books. We went and got coffee. And I said, "Would you do this again next week?" He's like, "I'd love to." Last time I had coffee with him was 6:30 this morning. And we spent about 2 hours together.
Come on.
And we do it every single week. We're in our we've almost completed 4 years.
Wow.
And I bet we probably see each other 47, 48 weeks a year for 2 hours. And we just sit and we speak truth over each other. We love on each other. Sometimes we talk about the hogs. Sometimes we, he has, basically walked alongside me, loved me, mentored me, discipled me. For the first, I'd say 3 years, we had no agenda every time we showed up. Recently, we've started reading through a book called Abide in Me.
Okay.
And it's been amazing, man. It's a 31 chapter book, and we finished week 20 this morning. And, it's changing my perspective. I'm growing, I'm learning. I'm in a much better place. I'm still kind of a jerk if you ask my wife. But she will also tell you that the days I go and meet with Ron, I'm a different person. She actually has encouraged me. Maybe I should see him twice a week, but
man, that's powerful, Matt. And when you and I were talking, these are kind of some of the stories I wanted us to talk about. And that right there is what we're missing in our world.
Mm-hmm.
If you read the Gospels, it's literally what Jesus said to do. Mm-hmm. Go and make disciples.
Yeah.
And discipleship is not a program. It's life-on-life mentoring, right? And obviously at camp, that's our goal. We only get 6 days to do it. But one of the things Hetty would say is, now leave here and go build your own Brookhill. Now leave here and go disciple. Leave here and go and love the person next to you at your school. Yeah. Love the person on your team. Love the person in your church. And not just go to church, but really love that person next to you. And that,
where they're at.
Where they're at.
Yeah.
Not where you want them to be.
No, because that's not where they're at.
That's right.
And you're not going to ever get them anywhere other than where they're at, than meeting where they're at. Like if you don't start there, you're going nowhere.
That's it.
Yeah.
And, one day at a time. But this is 4 years later. I mean, if you and I had talked 4 years ago,
I was still really bitter and angry.
Probably would have been a different podcast.
There would be no podcast. You'd be like, that guy really fell off the deep end, man. I remember him being a lot more congenial.
Man, look at what God has done, though.
Yeah.
And it started with that girl that asked your mom to go to church.
Yeah.
Because you've had the tools. But we all walk through things, and I don't know if the Job was the hip. I think the Job was the other things that you walked through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was. This is just the lingering knock-on effects of everything that was being thrown at me then, but
yeah,
like I'm in such a better place.
That's right.
So mentally ready, so emotionally ready. Yeah. He's sovereign. He's in control.
Yeah.
He knew this moment way before I did.
Yeah.
Like he knows what's going to happen on Friday. He knows the next dumb choice I'm going to make and when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Before I do. Yeah. And he still loves me.
Yeah.
And he still wants good things for me because I'm his child.
Yeah.
And I love my children and would do almost anything for them. And that's an imperfect love. That's not a perfect love.
Right.
And his love's perfect.
That's powerful.
His love is so much more than we need. We're not even tapped into half of it.
Right.
It just,
right.
We don't even see it. We walk past it, take it for granted. But if we look for it, man, his fingerprints are all over life. And yeah. Would we be having this talk without that person? No. Doubt it. Yeah. Maybe. God might have used another person.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
I could have still ended up here.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that person responded in obedience. And my mom said yes to the call. That's amazing.
So the question is, who is the Ron Carter that we're all supposed to be for other people? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, because that's it. Somebody's got to be the Ron Carter for us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
And then God's called us to be that for somebody else.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Faithful men that can teach others also. Paul,
Awesome.
Timothy.
Yep.
Faithful men, others also.
Yep.
2 Tim 2:2, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you, downline.
Come on. We got a verse thrown in there, Tyler. It's powerful. Man, this is it. Man, I appreciate you being on here.
Yeah. Man, I enjoyed it.
This is what it's all about. It's just a conversation.
Yeah, it's
Tyler,
great.
this is the best podcast we've ever had. That was great. Life, legacy, and leadership. Matt
Love it.
Perry. Love you, brother.
Love you. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Bye.
I didn't have my cheer at the beginning.
That's okay. I was waiting for it.